Hello everyone. I wanted to give you a little update on my July UFO project, which I've been working on. And also, I got a message from Carmen's Quilt Shop. Carmen's Quilt Shop has a 25-day Advent box, and she's taking pre-orders now, and she wanted to make sure that everybody knows that it's still available. And it's going to be last year was her first year doing this. This is her second year, and she's making some changes based on suggestions that she's gotten from people and a little bit of research. So she said this is going to be her second year, and she's going to be making the box even better, and she's going to be coordinating patterns to fabric with several projects, and then also having some fun things to do and learn in her box, in her Advent box this year. So that's going to be shipping on or before November 10th, 2025. And you can sign up for it at her website, Carmen's Quilt Shop. You can use my code Liz, L-I-Z 25C, and get 10% off. Sometimes though, when you go on her site, there's if you sign up for emails, you can get 15% off. And also sometimes she has some sales. So I have some friends who I think got 30% off because they went on at the right time and got her box at a really good price. The cost for the box at full price is $275, and I believe that includes shipping. And the value of the box is $500 with all the items that she's going to be having in it. And I'm going to be doing a box opening for that in December. I'm going to do start December. My plan is to start December 1st and go through for the 25 days and do a box opening, which I did last year also. I bought this box last year during her first year, and it was wonderful. There was lots of items and lots of fabric. And I made some suggestions about that I would like to see some projects in there. And she's following through with suggestions that she's gotten from people. So if you want to get an Advent box, a 25-day Advent box, there you go, Carmen's Quilt Shop. She's going to be having it. She's also said she's going to be sending me a box to open. So look forward to that and see. That's going to be a surprise. See what's in that box. Maybe some awesome stuff that you'd like to get too. But moving on from Carmen's Quilt Shop Advent box, I wanted to show you. This is from my stash that I'm going to be using for the binding on the Wacky Weaves, Wacky Weave, which is here's the pattern. So this is my UFO challenge for July with Crazy Moose. This is a kit that I've had for many, maybe a decade, maybe 2 decades. Anyway, it's been in my bin waiting to be done. Wacky Weave. So first I'll explain to you what happened here. The first thing you do is you sew strip sets together, like jelly roll strips. So they're 2.5-inch strips. You sew 3 strips together, and it's supposed to measure 6.5 inches. Mine measured 6 1/4. Now I did a very accurate 1/4-inch seam, but I didn't do a scant 1/4-inch seam. So it doesn't say in here to do a scant 1/4-inch seam. So if you want it to make it to be 6.5-inch blocks, you need to do a scant 1/4-inch seam. I'll have to write myself a note in here. Also, so when I was measuring, then you cut those strips into 6.5-inch blocks. Well, I had all my strips sewn, and they were all 6 1/4. So it was very, very the same for all my strips, exactly 6 1/4. So I cut my block 6 1/4-inch square, thinking I might have to adjust all the rest of the instructions. So the next thing you do after that is you take those 6.5 inch squares, or rather my 6 1/4 inch squares, and you're sewing them into 4 blocks in certain ways. There's an A block and a B block. So I did that, and that was supposed to measure 12.5 inches. Well, mine measured 12 inches. So from that, you're going to be cutting your wacky block. It has to be tilted certain ways, but it ends up measuring 11 inches. So when I did it, my blocks actually measured, my points were exactly on the 11 inch. Wow. So I didn't have to adjust after that anything, any of my measurements to make them right. So I followed the instructions, and I was able to cut out all my 11 inch blocks. I did, when I was, as it had said, you needed to have, a lot of contrast with the focal fabric, and where is that? Here. I had these blocks that, this just didn't seem like it was much of a contrast between this and this. So I had some extras from the other strips that I replaced with those as much as I could, because each strip set makes 6 blocks. So some of them was able to get 7 out of. So I replaced some of them. It didn't make a difference. But so that is what those are the issues that I ran into when I was making this. I did not have enough fabric to make the binding with what was included in the kit. But this is the Wacky Weave. Actually, I like it. It came out pretty cool. Here's a landscape view of it, which you can see maybe a little bit more. So you see that is a 3/4 inch strip that's in the center of the border that you paste. And I gotta say, that was probably the hardest part, doing that narrow strip. You had to, I made sure that I had this border strip on the bottom and this on the top, so that I could make sure I was not getting the seam and stuff in there. The only repeat I had was in here, this block right here. I had those two, but that's all right. It's okay. So that is the top, the finished top for the Wacky Weave, my July UFO challenge. And for the backing, this is from my stash. Since this is all batiks, I was trying to get batiks. So this is going to be the backing for this. Kind of matches, that. I mean, it'll go good. And then this is going to be the binding, which, because there's some green, there's that green in here, so this is going to be the binding. So that's my progress on Wacky Weave. So what have you been working on, and how are your projects going? I just got notified that the Sewers Club box is being delivered today. So I'll be doing a box opening of that at some point this weekend and posting that. So anyway, I'm liking this pattern actually. It's pretty cool, the Wacky Weave. What do you think? Let me know. Okay, bye.